Hello students, so let us continue with exercise 3B. So what happened is exercise 3B, we start to look at a couple of simple questions where the results are actually non-terminating numbers, and since the results are non-terminating, we will need to actually present our final solutions to three significant figures unless otherwise stated. So this is a practice that is common throughout. So here's an example, right? We are given that the area of a square is 264 and we want to find the length. So straight away we know that the way to do it is to find the square root of 264, and with that we will actually see our non-terminating solution. So how do we actually present our solution in this way? So let's take a look. So first, the length, right? Oops, let me spell it properly. The length, okay, in this case, will be equals to the square root of 264. And when we take our calculator, 264, and when we square root that, we will have 16.24807 68, etc., right? A long string of non-terminating decimal. So we want to actually present our final solution up to three significant figures. So 16.2, write down the units, which is in centimeter in this case, and indicate that it is three significant figure. So that is how we present our answers for questions of this nature, right? Now, part two, there's another thing that we need to take note. We want to find the perimeter now, right? So the perimeter in this case, okay, is going to be 4 times, now 4 times the length, right? However, we should not use 16.2 because 16.2 has been rounded off. We should instead use the value before we round off, which is 16.2480768, so that we get better accuracy. But if you have a calculator with you, it's even more accurate if we will just actually put this in our calculator. 4 times the square root of 264, right? That will give us the best accuracy. So when we do that, let's check out the calculator. We get 64.992307, etc. again. And of course, for final presentation, we actually round it off correct to three significant figures, and it will look like this: 65.0. The units is centimeter, and please indicate that it is three significant figures. So this is how we can present this style of questions very systematically, very accurately, with no error. All right. So another example where we encounter non-terminating value, that is when we are dealing with circle, because we know that pi is an irrational number. So using the same idea now, okay, we are supposed to find the radius. We know that the circumference is 2 times pi times r, where r represents the radius. This is 136. Therefore, the radius is actually 136 divided by 2 pi. And that will give us a non-terminating value. So again, let's pull out the calculator. 136 divided by 2 pi. Let's see, what do I get? I will get 21.645, etc. Right? So again, the final presentation, we will want to leave it as three significant figures. So it's 21.6. The units is meters, and please indicate that this is three significant figures. Okay. Now the same idea will happen here. This time around, we want to find the area, right? And we know that the area of a circle is pi times r squared. Now, same idea, we should not use the 21.6 as my r. Instead, we should use the value before it was round off, right? So I will actually just put this instead, 136 over 2 pi, right? I mean, I have the calculator, so it shouldn't worry me too much as long as I punch the value into my calculator carefully and correctly, right? So that will give me, let's pull out my calculator, right? I forgot my reading glasses. The buttons of calculator a bit small. Right, it's okay. I can do this. Times pi. We get 1471.8649, etc. And of course, to write it as a three significant figure eventually, is 1470, right? And the units for area is meter square. And yes, please indicate that it's 3 significant figures, right? So that's how we can actually do this and present it in a proper way. All good? Okay. Now next question, we have Su Fen, who used a calculator to evaluate the 218 divided by 31 and obtain the answer 70.3, right? So we can confirm the claim because we have our calculators in front of us. So 218 divided by 31 is actually 7.03 225. So quite obviously she has gotten it wrong, right? But the question did says, without using actual calculation, use estimation to determine whether Su Fen answer is reasonable, right? So then use a calculator to check. So we have already checked, right? But let's see if we use estimation, how does this look like, right? So 218 divided by 31, right? If we were to do estimation, means we round off each part to something reasonable before we actually get the answer. So if I want something that is reasonable and easy to calculate, we can have something like this: 218. We can put 210. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough, right? Divide by 30, and that will actually give us 7, right? So obviously we say the Su Fen's answer is not reasonable, right? Right? Then after that, we can actually find the actual value, right? The actual value is actually let's see, we have worked it out earlier, is 7. Let's write the whole thing down, right? 218. Okay, let me scroll it up easier for me to write. 218 divided by 31, which gives us 7.03, right? If this is a 3 significant figure, right? Therefore, okay, is your estimate value? Yes. Our, okay, or rather my estimated value is close, right? Because 7 and 7.03, they are close to actual value, right? So this just shows us that we can estimate better than Su Fen. How you like that, huh? Okay, so is that the last question I should try? Yes, that's the last question I should try. So I hope you have been successful. Have a nice